red lights are about to come on, then they're going to go off and we're going racing. It's race 2 here in Buriram, and off we go. That's a great start once again for Tatakorn Boisserie from the outside of the front row of the grid. And we're keeping all our eyes on Sho Nishimura as well. Hopefully he can make it through the first turn a bit better than yesterday. Yes, he can, but he's got Matsuyama up his inside. Now on the run down towards turn 3. Boisserie with the lead. We have number 13 in second place, Matsuyama on the chase. And who's going to blink first as they break down into this turn? Oh, poor fella. He's been bumped way down the order. So Voigt going, starting from pit lane, and we're down into turn 3, all through safely it seems at the moment. Oh, very nearly not in that sort of case, but blimey, we've already had a bit of an argy-bargy there. So it's Boisserie from Asman in second place. Then the number 16, that is Adananta Putra, had the ride through yesterday. He's in third place, overtaken Matsuyama from Munandar in 5th.
Yeah, so great start again, like we said, for Boisserie. Matsuyama this time not able to immediately make his way to the front, although as I say that, he takes over in third position. And I imagine the Japanese rider, after his display yesterday, will be pushing pretty quickly to try and hit the front. But it remains to be seen if he'll be able to break them quite like he could yesterday, because at the moment, Boisserie looking pretty strong, as is Asman.
This was the key, because by turn 3 yesterday, Matsuyama was already in the lead and making some distance between himself and the others. But there he goes, makes another move. That's on Asman this time. Now he's looking up the inside of Boisserie as we flick it there. If he ends up on the outside, what can they do on the run down to turn 12 this time? We've got a quartet heading down into the final turn for the first time.
So Matsuyama then looks like he's threatening for the lead here. Is he going to pounce already? No, a little bit of patience there from the number 11. Slots back into second. It doesn't attack Boisserie just yet.
Oh, we do have a rider down the background. Looks like he might have collided as well, because his rear tail unit's all sorts of bent. Oh, there's 2 riders down. Who are they? We'll find out very shortly. Saw a couple of names tumbling down the timing sheets there. We couldn't quite work out who it was.
It goes so quickly, those graphics, it's hard to keep up. Hopefully we'll find out soon who is involved in that and see them get up and rider OK come up on the screen. So you can see now then Matsuyama challenging for that lead, but he's going to get slipstreamed now, and I think it's going to be Munandar who's going to emerge in the lead now. The number 4 straight through to the front of the race. Oh, and Asman and Boisserie just losing out. So who have we got down?
It's Wapa Thurakij, the Thai rider, so that's disappointing for the home fans as well as Kasuma, who goes down as well. Here's a replay of what happened. Which one are we looking at? I'm guessing the one who's all out of shape there. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey, he properly skittled in there. That was a royal bowling job.
Yeah,
that was a really
tough incident to be involved in, both to cause and to be on the receiving end of that one. So hopefully they're both up and okay. But anyway, what's happening at the front then? Boisserie we have in the lead, so he's managed to take it back. We've got Asman and Putra then, the top 3 able to hold off Matsuyama, who's now seems to be behind Nishimura according to our graphics.
Well, what's happened there?
I'm not sure what's gone on there in the shuffle in the fight for first then.
Yeah, well, no idea what's gone on there. Matsuyama fell right back. Nishimura, meanwhile, the number 3 up into 5th. He's keeping calm and keeping out of trouble, it seems, at the moment. So it's all about Boisserie and Asman at the moment. He flicks to the outside. He thought he was going to come right around him then. Maybe Boisserie made a mistake, but he hadn't. Who's going to come out first after turn 12? No move up the inside here from Asman, but the big move's coming out the inside. That is number 20. That is Mutta Kim. He crashed out yesterday. Who did he got the inside of? We have a bug covering the graphics on our screens here. Get off! That was Nishimura who's covering up.
It was, yes. So thanks, Mr. Bug, and thanks for leaving us be now. So you can see Munandar again not willing to let Matsuyama pass at all. So I'm quite surprised so far that the number 11 hasn't really been able to make that much ground up. He had been at the front and in the front trio, but then he's lost out again and just got taken back in by the group. So we'll have to see. We've still got 14 laps to go. So there's a long way to go in this race still.
Clearly the man with the target on his back. Mutta Kim comes up the inside, and Nishimura once again perfectly executed. Absolutely no issues there for the Japanese rider and the Indonesian rider. Boisserie still out front. Matsuyama has recovered. He's moved back up to 3rd. He's got Putra behind him, followed by Munandar. Look at this trio here. They're getting a bit feisty as well. Looks to be Nishimura getting messed up a bit by Mutta Kim as he goes up his inside towards in turn 4. Matsuyama back up to 2nd, or is he going to go to 3rd? He's up the inside of Boisserie. Is he? Does he make it stick? Can't quite see because we're focusing on the wrong rider. He has made it stick.
Yeah, you can see that yellow helmet just able to move through there, and it's all got really, really close again. You can see quite a few riders outside track limits there on the edge on the green stuff. They have to be careful about that. But at the moment then, it's Matsuyama back in control, and I haven't managed to curse him quite yet.
No commentators curse this time around, it seems, for both of us, which is good news. But look at that, Nishimura. He's clear. I thought it was Matsuyama who had a target on his back. Clearly, the Japanese rider, the championship leader, has one as well. He's now on the back of that number 12. That's Jacob Rolstein.
Rolstone. You'll get it right next time.
Yes, well, trying to think a bit too quickly here. Looking at Munandar navigating his way through the final turn, all safely through there this time around. Here's the live championship standings, and as it stands, Matsuyama would take the championship lead by 6 points from Nishimura. Munandar moving up a bit closer, it seems, then in 3rd place to the Japanese rider. There he is now.
Yeah, so you can see last time around Matsuyama set that fastest lap, so maybe he's now going to try and pull the pin. But there are a few places, such as Jacob Rolstone. Sorry, we've not said your name once correctly yet. But he's having a really, really solid race up in this group, fighting with the guy who's currently leading the standings. That's a job well done. Igarashi as well, although we're in the bad books a little bit after yesterday's incident. He's made some really solid progress up from the back of the grid as well.
I think a lot of people will be trying to stay out of his way after yesterday's antics, to be honest. That would have helped him, although Nishimura's decided not to. He's just retaken 8th place from him. He
has indeed, and we have as well, Ferdow seems to have lost out more than I'd certainly expected in race 2, obviously on the podium yesterday. So not sure exactly what's happened there to the number 10, but we'll see if there's anything, or maybe just not quite got the pace he had yesterday. Although it is a fairly similar time of day here at Buriram that we race, so usually conditions aren't too much of a shock. Yeah, just an hour earlier this time around, and with a bit of a 5-minute delay as well, just thanks to the celebrations from MotoGP. We thank them for that. We're running on board with Munandar once again, occupying that 3rd place. Looking ahead, it's Boisri. So this seems to be the case that we had yesterday as Matsuyama's made his way towards the front, and it looks like Boisri and Munandar in charge of the leading group. But how much are they in charge? Yesterday, apparently they weren't too much in charge. Yeah, yesterday I think we definitely cursed them, but at the moment some really good pace from the numbers 4 and 5, you can see just behind Matsuyama. And as yet, the Japanese rider, he's been able to keep the lead, but he's not been able to pull out that gap. It was 4/10 last time around, and you can visually see it's an awful lot less this time. Yeah, so that gap's halved as they go over the line for lap 4. At the end of, well, with 12 laps to go now, I think Matsuyama's going to have a real hard time of, there's a bit of a front-end twitch there for Boisri, number 5. Matsuyama's going to have a real hard time of trying to get away because there is such a big group now, and with this early stage in the race, the only time they're going to actually end up being able to get away, you're going to find that he's going to be clawed back in along the straights with the slipstream. Matsuyama just holds off the guys then for 1st place once again. Boisri takes a look behind him. You don't want to be taking too much of a look behind you. You'll be getting far too fearful in that case. Matsuyama, they're breaking down now into turn 4, and he maintains the lead still despite all the slipstream there. And look at that, we have a proper quintet now, Fran. This is extremely exciting. Yeah, we most definitely do. They've really closed up again. Like we said, Matsuyama just not able to pull that pin like he was yesterday. Although, obviously, the incident at the start of the race did certainly help him get a little bit of breathing space. There do seem to be a few sections on the track where he's a little bit quicker, though. Like you can see through here, he's able to just pull that advantage out a little bit. And then, of course, with the slipstream and in the braking zones, they just close back in on the number 11. But good to see, then, we don't seem to have had any jump starts today, which is always good. So we're going to hopefully keep Putra in this battle at the front with Boisri, Munandar, Asman, and all those guys who are currently making it a 5-way fight for the lead today. Yeah, well, proper quintet we got going on here now then, and look at it, so the man on a move seems to be Putra. He was seriously miffed with that ride-through penalty yesterday, as you can imagine. It was only marginal as well, as we see Sho Nishimura has made his way up the inside of Muta Kim. He's moved into 6th place now and chasing down the front pack, and that gap is not so big that he can't make it up on the slipstream. Yeah, it's not so big, and as well with those guys spreading out a little bit across the track, that's punching a little bit of a bigger hole in the air for Nishimura to try and hunt them down. But of course, he is giving the slipstream to the guys behind him as well, so it'd be interesting to see if you can just close that gap. So at the moment, though, the first part of the task is to get to the front of that group and be the guy setting that pace to try and reel them in, which he's done. And now these guys are getting pretty feisty. That was almost a 2-in-1 there from Munandar, but everyone's just about safely through.
Yep, seems so. Oh, a bit of rumble strip action there between Azman and Munandar. Putra, I said he was the man on the move, completely cursed him. He was overtaken by those guys, but he's back through on them on the run up towards turn 4. This blind brow almost as they tip into turn 4 at breakneck speed. Look at that, what a move from Munandar there. Just carves his way through those guys.
I didn't expect that to work at all. When I saw he was still really going for that and committed, you saw my face just tense. But really impressive stuff then from the number 4. Got that done and pretty cleanly. And now we have Boisri then in the lead of this race still. Not getting attacked too much, but those 3 guys behind are really making it a good party at the moment in this podium fight.
He's just moved up the inside of Matsuyama as well into this part of the circuit. So excellent stuff from Munandar. He's clearly working together maybe perhaps with Boisri, trying to cling onto his tail. He knows that he's going to be one of the men to beat in this race. Matsuyama just edged out a little bit there. There is no way he is getting loose on this circuit. They are not going to let him get away at all. Those reins are tight as you like. Up the inside into the final turn comes Munandar, and he makes it very cleanly on through Boisri. Too used to talking to Pierre Gasly today, apparently. So 10 laps to go then as they come across the line. Munandar is in the lead.
Yeah, and if you saw as well down into the final corner, Jacob Ralston attacked Nishimura. Super aggressive, the two almost came together, but the Australian got it done and moved through. So Nishimura then lost that position at the front of that second group, and it's getting a little bit harder and harder with each lap to find that pace to hunt these guys down, although it is a 10th less, the gap between the 2 groups, than it was last time around. And this kind of stuff is only going to help.
Azman on the inside into second place. That was brilliantly executed. Everybody stayed upright. And I think that has just about brought this quintet into how many?
Many
up to the top 10. The top 10, it seems.
Pretty much. So yeah, obviously immediately proving me wrong. Thanks very much, guys. But great. Now we've got a classic freight train here. See if some of those guys who've just tagged onto the back of this group can start making some waves, because they're not sure if everyone in the group will be quite aware that it's pretty much just doubled in size. So we'll have to see how that goes when maybe you get someone coming past you that you didn't quite expect. But at the moment then, Ralston having a really impressive race, and Igarashi, again, he's in this group now and has made his way up from the back of the grid.
Proceed with caution, Igarashi, as we are keeping an eye on Munandar, the show of the cameras as well. He had some awesome corner speed coming through. I think it was turn 7, in fact. But he wasn't able to make up too many places there. But he is back up into 4th place, is the number 4. And Matsuyama, the real loser on this lap, he's been pushed down to 5th there. You can see from the yellow helmet. Down into the final turn once again. And we have Putra up the inside, taking the lead, pushing Boisri out. And that lets Azman through as well, just as we come across the line once again. 9 laps to go. Munandar as well, and Matsuyama, they're all looking up the inside into turn 1. Who's going to break first?
Yeah, those kind of moves are such a last lap of the race, last corner kind of move, but you can lose out an awful lot when you do still have to tuck in and make your way down to turn 1. And we saw there Boisri got a little bit mugged, but able to recover at the number 5 and not too bad. But now we have Azman in the lead then, but again, it's going to change all over again. Another shuffle.
It is, yeah. Who's going to break first, break latest, break safely, most importantly, down into turn 3. Keeping an eye on Sho Nishimura there, keeping out of trouble just about. Someone nearly gave him a knee there. That was the number 12. That was Jacob Ralston. Yes, I said his name right for the first time. Congratulations, Jacob, the Australian, moving up towards turn 4. You could barely even see them all, fully inside the slipstream, every single one of them. Nishimura looking out the inside, not around this time, towards turn 5.
Yeah, so as you can see now then, this battle is getting pretty hectic out there, although we have Matsuyama once again able to pick his way through to the lead of this group. And again, the Japanese rider just really seemed to be able to create some daylight between himself and those on the chase, especially around this section of the track. But those guys behind are easily then able to pull it back in. But at the moment, it's going to be pretty interesting to see if they keep squabbling. Matsuyama could have a chance to pull the pin like he did yesterday.
Well, that would be down to my commentator's curse then, because I said I don't think he's going to be able to get away, but he's already got a little bit of daylight. If these guys aren't careful, they're going to be out of the slipstream zone on the next track. It'd be very interesting to see what his lap time will be that time around. And Fran, just interestingly enough, their lap times are considerably slower at this race than they were before, around about a second for most of these top riders.
Yeah, definitely, and we can see Matsuyama then safe around that final corner, and more drama in the fight for second as it stands at the moment, with Boisri, Putra and Asman all going toe-to-toe there, but Matsuyama keeps that advantage then. This could be pretty crucial for him if he's able to make it down that straight as well and not lose too much of the advantage. And again here, Boisri looking behind him. They keep squabbling and paying more attention to themselves than the man ahead. Then I think Matsuyama does have a chance to make a break for it now.
Boisri really needs to stop looking behind him and get as many aero gains as he possibly can on the braking down into turn 3. We come. Mutakim on the inside. Absolutely beautiful stuff there. As a bit of cloud cover comes over the Buriram circuit here. Matsuyama was not closed down one little bit there, it seemed, and he's got Putra now in second place. Nishimura just behind Mutakim, who in turn is fighting Boisri, who's going to be on the inside into turn 4. Well, can't quite tell who's got that one. It looks like it is, well, Mutakim. No, Nishimura up the inside. He takes the 3rd place back with Putra just ahead of him there.
Yeah, so you can see they're all, positions changing too often really to commentate on properly, and a little bit too often for the graphics as well. But Putra then seems to be content to be at the head of this group, but I'm not sure, especially since they didn't really see him do that full race with the front group yesterday. I'm not sure the likes of Boisri and Monanda will be that content to sit there behind him. But at the moment, though, you can see on the graphic at the bottom of your screen, Matsuyama loses a couple of tenths there, but then gains them back again by the end of the lap, and that gap has now been over a second more than a single lap. So it's looking good for the Japanese rider in the lead.
Much came up the inside of Putra there, and Nishimura has got second place though as we come out the final corner to start. 7 laps to go. Matsuyama, well, that is the correlation between whether he can pull out a gap or not is directly correlation to how much fight is going on in the chasing pack. So Nishimura just got to keep it cool, calm and collected here, not let Mutakim mess up too many of his chances, although he will be wanting to chase down the leader because Mutakim, he'll be looking for that first win, of course.
Yep, he will. First win and first podium as well, so a lot at stake for him. And yeah, like you said, these guys, I mean, last time around there were a couple in the group that were on the pace of Matsuyama, but with all the swapping of positions and feisty fights we've seen between these guys, they're just not able to close that gap down or even able to keep it the same. And as the laps tick down, that's pretty much a good night on fighting for this win for them, I think, unless Matsuyama slacks off a little bit too much and comes into any trouble.
Well, last time around, his fastest lap was, well, half a tenth quicker than Sho Nishimura's in second place. So you can really see these two seem to be the class of the field in this particular race. But just the question comes, will the others be patient enough to stay in a line, not mess each other's lines up too much and actually begin to chase down Matsuyama, because otherwise he's going to get the double here in Buriram. He clearly likes doing that. Boisri at the inside of Mutakim. He makes it stick, but for how long? Putra just up ahead of him. And Munandar gets his nose wiped by Mutakim as well. Thank you very much, Sunshine. Had a cold since last week. On the run down to the final turn once again.
What beautiful imagery. So yeah, we have Boisri then, seems pretty keen to try and make progress back up through here, but I'm impressed with Sho Nishimura. He's fought his way back to the start of this group fighting for the podium now, after initially a pretty difficult first sort of third at least of the race. So props to him, really good performance so far, and this will of course keep him in the lead of the championship if he is able to take second. So quite a lot on the line for him, although not so much that he needs to really take the big risks for second. He does have an 11-point advantage, so you know, it'll be important to be on the podium, but the main thing will be not to throw it down the road again after that drama yesterday.
Completely agree. The one rider who's looking a little bit erratic in this race compared to completely in control is that man there. Munandar going up the inside. No, not one, but two riders. Saying looking a bit erratic, but at least he made that one stick and it was safe. Absolutely awesome move down into turn 3 there. He does look extremely strong on the brakes, and his mid-corner speed seems absolutely great, but he seems just too liable to be getting messed up by other riders, much like Mutakim coming up the inside, pushing him right back with the slipstream once again. And thank you very much. Where's Nishimura ended up? He's ended up way back in this group once again. Got to keep an eye on those track limits though, Boisri.
Yeah, you can see now Boisry, though, able to just
stay
ahead of the drama.
It was Boisry, yes.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, Nishimura, as soon as I sing his praises, they'll beat him up and he loses a few positions. You know, I'm sorry, I'll stop talking about him now. But he had made great progress, and at least he knows he can cut through that traffic, as it could be seen for a points leader in the Asian Talent Cup. But at the moment, then, Matsuyama still absolutely nothing. And again, Munandar seems to be a lot more aggressive today than he was yesterday. Yesterday, Boisry and Munandar looked like they were aggressive, but to a point, and very much in control of where they were determined to finish in this race. But today we've seen a little bit more scrappiness in this group and a few more interesting manoeuvres.
And shaking his fist as well as he comes out of turn 11 on the run down to turn 12. These guys still well within the group. Poor Sho Nishimura, he'd done so well to be putting him on the fastest laps of the race up into second place, and at the end of that lap he's ended up in 7th. Poor fella. Well, here is Putra. He'll be very, very happy indeed. There was no jump start this time around. He won't want to make that same mistake twice. But look at this, 5 laps to go, and it could be the double for Takuma Matsuyama. Still plenty to decide on that second place, though.
There is, and that does not bode well for his competitors in terms of the overall cup, when next up is Motegi. And last year he was the absolute king of the Japanese track. So it could be an interesting switching of the guard, really, in the ATC this weekend, but we'll have to wait and see. Nishimura then tagged onto the back of this group, trying to make his way back through to the front of the podium fight, where he'd already been until getting a little bit beaten up. Ooh, Jacob Ralston again is not afraid of going elbow to elbow.
No, he's really not, and neither is Munandar. That's bad news for him. Munandar at the inside of Putra once again. Yes, he does make a stick. He is so strong on the brakes and seems to really manage to keep his line rather well. Does a Fritzer, but now can he actually make any moves on Boisry? Is he going to get punched straight back?
Yeah, it's a little bit more spread out than we'd seen for a few laps now. With 5 to go, it's now is the time to try and really stop this stuff and make your break. But they really are feisty today, and there's a lot of moves, but nothing quite as reckless. We saw a few reckless situations yesterday. A little bit too much drama, too many people on the floor. Today, it's been really aggressive racing. Some things maybe a little bit on the limit. We've seen some shaking fists, but all in all, a really good, super aggressive fight so far. And Munandar then back past Boisry rather, and it's Asman now who is in the chase behind Matsuyama. Not sure what that means. Usually it's a tap of the tail unit to say follow me, but that one not sure. But these two then back up similarly to where they were yesterday, with just Asman now in their way. And Matsuyama not actually made that much ground. He's just a 2.5 seconds clear. I did expect that to extend a little bit more than it has done over the laps that he's been in the lead.
Well, it's another case of choose a line, any line, as we break down into turn 3. Is Munandar going to do his usual? No, he's not. He braked a little bit too late, had to sit behind. Looked like Asman. There, no, it wasn't, sorry, that was Putra at the number 16 talking about. Asman was just clear enough that time so that he didn't come under any threat down into turn 3 there. But Boisry, as we come up on the run down towards that ultra-fast turn 4, he's not receiving any sorts of threats at the moment. But look at this, the live championship standings. As it stands, Nishimura -5 points from Matsuyama out there in front.
Yes, you can see it's been really expensive this fall through this podium fight for Sho Nishimura. So he's now down in 7th, 8th, kind of fighting for those positions. Compare that to if he were to finish second, and he would keep the points lead by enough of a margin as well to be able to finish second in the first race in Motegi too. But with so many people in this battle for second place, he's going to have to be careful that he really does start to make some progress, and at least on the last lap can pick off a few.
We're keeping a very close eye on what Asman's able to do. He's not making any big inroads on Matsuyama, but he is pulling away a little bit from this group. And as we come across the line next time around, it'll be 3 laps to go, so time very much running out. This is the time of the race when you do need to be squabbling a little bit more if you're going to be making a chase, but at the same time, it is, of course, a balancing act. You don't want to be squabbling too much, otherwise all those podium spots are going to get away if one of them just escapes.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to time it right, really, towards the end of these Moto3, ATC, BTC, whatever it may be, races, and you've just got to make sure that you're in the right position to be able to make those moves, have enough time left to do so, but not then end up in a massive scrap again. You just got to cut through to get that position when you need it. on the final lap of the race. And with 3 to go now, it's getting to crunch time when you don't want to be down in 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th in this group, and you want to make sure that you are at least within striking distance of the podium positions. Although I'm sure at Buriram there will be plenty of riders willing to wait for the final corner.
Well, Boisric has about 1 bike length of space there, but Nishimura has far too many bike lengths of space between him and the pursuing pack. He has really fallen off the charts, unfortunately. I wonder why that is. But let's look at Munandar there, making another one of his characteristic moves up the inside of Putra. Oh, he nearly loses the front end, and they nearly both go down into the gravel there at turn 5. Thankfully not. That would have been a real disaster for his and, well, both of their championship challenges at the end of this race, because whilst there are still 125 points available, you can't be affording to make any sort of mistakes now. Especially after yesterday getting taken out and then Putra with that ride through, you really don't want to be having another 0 in the second race here at Buriram. It was bad enough with one, and oh no, we see a faller then. Who is that who's gone down? Not quite sure, but it's one of the riders with the yellow helmets, although there's a few of those riders with the yellow helmets there. So I think it's Kusuma who's gone down. Or was that? No, that was a while ago. So we've not had it up on our screen before. It'll come up on our screens at some point and we'll let you know who it is. But as we come across the line then, those gaps are evidently a little bit smaller this time around. Asman 6/10 down on Matsuyama with the 2 laps to go. And Matsuyama, Asman, it was Mutakim who crashed. Oh, what a disaster. The number 20 of Mutakim, who'd done so well. I did wonder whether it would have been him, but I thought surely not. He's still in that group. Surely, but no. Down for Mutakim. What a big shame that is for the Indonesian rider. That really is, yeah. He had a really great race, so very sad to see him not able to quite fight this out right to the end. Hopefully he'll be up and okay soon. But yeah, it's hard to tell with those helmets. So many of the same look. You see Matsuyama's got the yellow on as well. But this gap then, we have Asman in striking distance of the man who we thought had cleared off to win this race, and he's taken more than a second out of him in the last lap and a half. And not just that, but Boisric is on the hunt as well, as is Munandar. We know how aggressive they've been, so they've been fooling us all along, or that they've maybe found their mojo once again. Maybe all the chaos with Mutakim has let them get their heads together, especially with that involvement with Putra as well. I wonder whether Putra was involved with Mutakim's incident, Fran, because he was there. Now he's at the back of this group. Very possibly, yeah. Not exactly sure what went on in that shuffle. We seem to have missed that, but yeah, hopefully nothing too dramatic and just rider's own error rather. But yeah, we hope Mutakim is up and okay. I think he's been taken to the medical centre to get checked out. But right, well, this is now, I think, officially a 4-rider scrap for this win. Yeah, when we come around to the slipstream zone next time around, we're going to be starting the final lap in just a second, as we're looking at his striking distance for Asman, but he does not strike this time around to the final corner. But I'm wondering whether he's just judged where Matsuyama is likely to break next time around. So across the line we come. The final lap of race 2 here, around 4 of the Asia Talent Cup in 2019 is go, and it's not a given that Matsuyama is going to take the win. Absolutely not, and we can see last time around then it was Munandar in 3rd who set the fastest lap of the race. Asman seemed to be quite patient there at the final corner, not attacking Matsuyama just yet, but the Japanese rider, I'm sure, is about to get some serious company now in the braking zone here. We have 4 abreast. Who's going to come out on top? I think it looks like it's going to be Matsuyama there, the Japanese rider, keeping it calm, but Munandar absolutely blasts it to the apex there and somehow manages to get that stopped and manages to not stop anybody else in their tracks. So impressive stuff, aggressive stuff from the number 4. Yeah, and from one slipstream zone to another on the run up towards turn 4. All that work you've just done at turn 3, pretty much for nothing, potentially, as they come through here. No real major changes of position there, but Asman looking very, very closely up the inside of Matsuyama, but Munandar looking even more closely up the inside of Asman. He tries to take him up the inside. They're very close. He nudges him. He nudges him out of the way, and Matsuyama still takes first place. Now we're coming to the final complex of corners. All about that run down to turn 12. There's no way Munandar's not going to have a go at this, so we'll have to see what's going to happen at that final corner here at Buriram. They're so close together. You can see the number 4 just biding his time. He will surely know that if he was in first place already, he would be subjected to an attack. So Matsuyama must at least know it's going to come. Well, that's all the overtaking zones apart from the last corner out the way, and here we come then. A little bit of a slipstream down this squirt down towards turn 12, the final corner of the final lap. Matsuyama on the inside. Can he break later than everybody else? Oh, Asman round the outside, or does he? And Matsuyama maintains the inside. Can they exceed track limits? No, they won't. Boisri does. His podium's gone. Matsuyama takes the win from Munandar. No, Asman takes it from Munandar there. Absolutely excellent race. Victory for Matsuyama. Safe, clean, awesome racing, just as you should expect. Here are the final results then. Takuma Matsuyama takes the win by just over a tenth of a second from Sharifudin Asman. Afritza Munandar takes third from Tachikon Boisri. Jacob Ralstone's best result here in the ATC from Sho Nishimura. And as it went away very quickly there, Adinand Putra was 7th from Warit Thongnopakan, 8th. 9th was Patumios. Igarashi takes 10th from Firdaus. He'll be disappointed with that one after yesterday. Bin Mahadi 12th from Bando. And then we have Wakamatsu, Voigt and Urbe. 3 non-finishers though, Mutakim, Kasuma and Thurakij. Of course, hopefully, keep an eye on the Asia Talent Cup social media channels to check they're okay from their medical centre checkups. Takuma Matsuyama then leaves Buriram as the championship leader with 133 points. 4 points back is Sho Nishimura. Afritza Munandar minus 20. And that's gone way too quickly once again. Putra just behind him, and Thongnopakan up into 5th after that race. He's still ahead of Boisri in the overall standings.
Yeah, that's what a little bit of consistency can do for you. So Matsuyama then, pretty much the perfect way for him to kick off this second half of the Asia Talent Cup season. But we've still got an awful lot of riders in with a shout at this cup title.
Well, the winner's trophy then does indeed go to Takuma Matsuyama once again here in Buriram at the Chang International Circuit. What a victory that was for him.